This program is brought to you by Young's Welding. For truck accessories, gateways, and all your welding needs, be sure to call Young's Welding at 936-544-7432. And the Moosehead Cafe, open Monday through Saturday for breakfast and lunch, and Friday nights for the fried catfish special dinner. Call 936-544-5278.
Mr. Jackson is going to lead us in prayer.
All right. Father, we thank you for this blessed privilege that we have to be self-governing in a nation where our freedoms enjoy, where we can act according to the laws and our own personal goals. And we assemble here today, Lord, asking that you would grant us the wisdom and fortitude that we need to do the people's business. Lord, it's really not about us, but it's about them. And we just pray that you would guide us and that you would make us one, that we might do the things that first please you and that are good for all the citizens of this great city. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Number 4, a presentation of the Houston County Career Women.
I'm Melissa Thompson. I'm the president of the Houston County Career Women Board of Melissa County Auditors, so you may know me. If our members could please stand. Ellen McRae, our vice president. Jan White, our treasurer. Kathy Calvert is our secretary, and Jeannie Julian is our member. And the purpose, the mission of our Houston County Career Women is to give back to the community civic leadership events, as well as educational scholarships. We focused on scholarships in the past, but thanks to the overwhelming support of our fundraiser that happens in March, we have now been able to look at our civic contributions as well. And with the Parks grant opening up, our group voted to give $8,000 to at least 10% to start the ball rolling.
Take a picture. Thank you so much. Thank you. On to number 5, the approval of the minutes from the special session on July the 10th of 2017 and July the 24th of 2017, the regular session, which was on August 7th, 2017, special session, which was August 14th, 2017, regular session, August the 21st, 2017, and a special session on August 28th, 2017. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept minutes as read.
Okay. Butch Calvert has made the motion that we accept this, and Mike Marsh seconded. Everyone in favor? Okay, thank you. On to number 6. Consider and approve a project development agreement agreement with Johnson Controls for the development of a self-funding energy retrofit on the city's existing buildings. Would y'all like to?
Council, we have Larry Jones with Johnson Controls. They've presented this to us before. Those of you that are newer, I want to ask him to just kind of update us on the program and allow us to either move forward or not.
I dropped off a little packet in your on the desk. So we'll turn to the first page and just talk about just a little review because it's been a while. I think for some people it's brand new. It's taking advantage of Texas legislation 302, which allows cities to enter into these performance contracts, and it allows them to take annual energy savings and leverage them 20 to 15 years and bring all that money forward to pay for infrastructure upgrades. And so, as you see on this sheet, the biggest part of it is the cost of the program has to be funded through energy savings. And the ESCO, in this case, that's Johnson Controls, guarantees the energy savings will pay for the project, or the ESCO reimburses the city by law. And so, and then, of course, the other big part, it is approved. Everything is blessed off by a third-party engineer. So before you go forward. So today, what we're only asking you to do today is to approve the study so we can go out and confirm all the engineering and numbers and bring it before you, and you guys can move forward then. So the next page just has a couple references of East Texas schools and counties and cities where this project has been done. On the next page, you'll see our proposed solutions. Our focus is on the city buildings, so we're going to be looking at air conditioning, lighting, controls, and we're also hoping to fund about $75,000 in cash, which you guys can put towards other projects in the city. Also, we would attempt to fund a KSA study of the wastewater treatment plant. So you can have a long-term engineering study that can either go into a program like this, or you guys would have a planning budget for the next 10 years. And so that's the focus of this phase of the program. Any questions on the scope for the legislation? So you hit the highlights. There's no upfront capital needed in these. They're typically funded by a municipal lease, and we can shop that through a local Crockett bank. The savings has to be greater than the annual payment. The savings are guaranteed, and what we're looking at is a 15-year program. The other big part that's not on this is we will use as many local contractors as possible. And on the last page, you'll see a quick action plan, and this kind of just lays out the set course. It'll probably take us about 60 days to go and confirm all the engineering and bring everything back in front of council. And then if everything went along smooth, we would probably be done with the project in April of 2018.
What are the average savings most of the clients that you've already assisted?
You're looking at an energy savings average about 31%. Yeah, so you're looking at different areas like your street lighting savings. These days are probably about 70%. With lighting indoors, it's probably the 50% range. Air conditioning is a little slower of a payback.
But this also includes the lighting in the park, correct?
Yes.
I like the idea of saving the citizens some money. I recall in my own personal home, I went LED bulbs and fixtures. And I saw a considerable drop in my energy savings within a month or so. Of course, I don't have a large house, but it was a noticeable difference in my monthly costs.
Any more questions?
I'll make a motion to move forward.
Second.
Councilman Marsh has made the motion that we approve the program development agreement with Johnson & Johnson. Councilman Calvert has made the second. Everyone in favor?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. On to number 7, the fire department monthly activity and status report for August of 2017.
For the month of August, we had a total of 42 calls. Of those calls, 29 of them were inside the city, 13 in the county. We had one structure fire inside the city, which led to the arrest of the arson. Our fire marshal made a case in that. I should have a report from you, broke down further into the incidents. If I have any questions on these ones.
On to number 8, the police department manpower and criminal incident report for August of 2017.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members, City Administrator. This is the August 2017 report. Total manpower of 16. Total manpower hours of 2,444. They answered 372 calls during that period. Made 78 arrests. Issued 106 traffic citations. Took out a total of 124 reports. Worked a total of 9 traffic accidents. We had 25 alarm calls during that period. There's a breakdown below there of the other reports for that period. I'll answer any questions if you have.
Thank you. On to number 9, consider and approve lease agreement from the Crockett Merchants Baseball, Crockett Merchants Little League for lease of the Old Boys and Girls Club for youth sports program.
Good evening, Councilman. Joe Spolis from Crockett Merchants Little League for over 20 years. Basically what's happened, the building used to be Old Boys and Girls Club, it's just been set. Actually, Crockett Merchants Little League will be 65 years. This coming year will be a 65-year organization in the city. We have anywhere from 200 to 250 or more kids to play baseball. We also have soccer, probably around a couple hundred kids. Softball also has around in the park. What we're looking for is this building set, and we have rented out of facilities like restrooms. We're having kids that can cross the street from 2 of our fields to go use the bathroom. What we're going to do is open this building up for meeting room, storage room. It has restrooms for us, soccer, any sports that's there. Just kind of give us a central location. We happen to have our meetings in a business. I know softball has to meet in somebody's business. We're looking for a place in the park, since we're there, that we can go. If somebody wants to have a board meeting, or pretty much anybody wants to have a meeting, we have a little small room that they can do stuff in. We can put our storage, our equipment, so everything is right there in a central location. We have a physical address. But it also will keep our children from crossing a road to go to the bathroom. We have a T-ball field, 7-8 fields across the road from our facilities. We have a lot of grandparents, older people that come. We poured walkways for them. But we're looking for something to get a little closer that we can actually be more accommodating to our spectators and people who come to watch our kids play ball or soccer or whatever. So basically what we're wanting to do is get approval to get a lease with y'all on that, because we can probably keep the lights on, fix it up to make it usable before it falls down. So pretty much that's about what we're looking for. It's just help everybody in the park. It'll give us another facility to do different things at, like we have a meeting, like I say, everybody has a meeting, small sports group, football, whatever, or some organization, I don't care. If we got a little meeting room, it makes it just, like I say, things will fall down. We've already had vandalism on the backside of it, I just saw it, when the windows broke out, and we actually want to just get this thing open before the city has to tear it down. So what I'm looking at is just get approval to get a lease for y'all to, let us have it for sports, for the kids. Like I said, we're looking at 250, that's a lot of kids. Keep them off the streets is what we're trying to do.
Good thing.
So that's what we're trying to do. And all we're asking for is y'all's approval to give us a lease on it.
Motion to approve the lease of the
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made by Councilman Calvert and seconded by Councilman Marsh. Everyone in favor?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Number 10, consider and approve a resolution regarding a financing contract between the City of Crockett and Branch Bank and Trust Company for the purpose of financing a Tahoe and a truck for the police department.
Council, this is a resolution allowing us to move forward during our budgeting process. We approved the police department to replace a few of the, I believe it was 4 vehicles that they're trying to replace of their older fleet. And with these 2 vehicles here, this resolution allows us to go forward with the lowest bidder on the lease agreement. And that's through BB&T. And I included the resolution in here. Are there any questions on that? The interest rate was locked in at 2.33%, so we had a really good interest rate.
I'll make a motion to approve.
The motion has been made by Councilman Marsh and seconded by Councilman Jackson. Everyone in favor? Okay, thank you. On to number 11. Consider and approve a resolution and agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation for the temporary closure of the state highway for Christmas and Crockett.
Council, this is the same resolution that we passed every year to allow Christmas and Crockett to come up on the square, the same closure routes, same streets. This allows us to send it on to Texas and get approval.
Make a motion that we consider approve that resolution. Second.
Who made the second? Councilman Jackson made the motion that we allow the approval for the closure of Christmas and Crockett, and Councilman Calvert second. Everyone in favor? Oh, Jean, would you like to speak?
I'd just like to say thank you so much for approving this. This will be number 36. And last year was the biggest and the best that we've ever had. The weather cooperated. We rented out 214 booths, and people were all over the place. We know it had to be at least 3,000 plus people on that day. And I just want to thank the city secretary, Mitzi, and city manager, John. They worked tirelessly to fill out paperwork and remind us that it's due, and they do it with a smile every year, and we so appreciate that. And also, I'd just like to take 1 minute to thank the Crockett Fire Department. They helped us so much with our children's event this summer. There's not a person in this room that hasn't helped the chamber in some way, and we so appreciate all of our citizens. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
On to number 12. Consider and approve a resolution. Okay, I apologize. Show of hands. Okay, now we can move on. Okay, thank you. Number 12, consider and approve a resolution and agreement with the State Department of Transportation for the temporary closure of the state right-of-way for the World Championship Fiddlers Festival of Crockett. going to be this coming Saturday.
Second.
The motion's been made by Councilman Marsh, and seconded by Councilman Jackson, that we approve for the closure. Everyone in favor? Thank you. 13, consider and approve appointment of a member to the Crockett Economic and Industrial Development Corporation Board of Directors. I would like to nominate Tim Johnson to that position.
I move that the council approves Tim Johnson for the vacancy on the Economic Development Board.
The motion has been made that we accept Tim Johnson as, to be put on the board of directors by Councilman Calvert and seconded by Rita Rodriguez. Any discussion? Everyone in favor? Show of hands. Thank you. Okay, now to number 14, the Crockett Economic and Industrial Development Corporation report by Mr. James Gentry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Appreciate your consideration of our new director, Mr. Johnson. I look forward to working with you. Just to give you an update on what's going on with economic development, I want to kind of give you an overview. I think I've given you, want to get a copy of the general summary of our financial condition as well as the update on things that are going on. As you all know, we are funded by sales tax dollars, and as of September 18th, we have a value of $553,000 that we required through the sales tax. It was down 8.7% below last year's, which was one of our stellar years, but based on our projected fiscal budget, we were 5% above what the actual projection was for this year. We should finish the year with the budget, very close. Bills and invoices are in order, and I will entertain any questions there. We're looking forward to preparing for our annual physical audit at this time. Hopefully looking forward to another positive audit as we had this past year. In terms of an update, we have spent a great deal of time working to inform the public as to our vision and goals to bring prosperity back to our city and county. We recognize the impacts of the loss of employment at our hospital, Zilka, and others, but are optimistic for future opportunities being brought forth by the Dodge dealership, Muscles and Curves, Christmas Health Clinic, the Heart Institute, and other small business opportunities being pursued at this time in Crockett. Our board is growing, literally, by our ex-official board members that are part of the council. I'm hoping that would be a plus for us in terms of our cooperative effort with you going forward to sell Crockett and Houston County. We are developing a common vision in conjunction with the city goals. We want to thank Mr. Gene Glover for his time on the board and wish him well in his new opportunities. Continuous training and development is part of our effort here as well. I've been an active participant representing Crockett as a member of the Board of Texas Forest and Country Partnerships, the East Texas Workforce Commission Board, Tex 21, and performing outreach to our various governmental and legislative representatives in an attempt to ensure Crockett is not forgotten. I've had the pleasure of meeting with a number of small business interests and setting up meetings with small business representatives to assist in developing business plans for them to move forward. One of the things that I'm big on is business retention, as well as looking at not only getting the big bang company to come here, but also grow our businesses within our community. And there are a lot of ideas that I think are good ideas in our community that I'm meeting with individuals on, and I want to encourage small business growth in this community. Plan on meeting in the near future with representatives of the Angelina College and discussing their 5 to 10 year plan for growing educational opportunities in our area. Presently, we have a 10-year lease with them in our facility on 19 at the Loop, but I'm hoping to grow that opportunities that beyond where they are right now. We have a certain level that we've been comfortable with, but it's not to the vision, to the level of vision that I thought we would be in terms of providing technical training in various cooperative efforts such as electrical as well as welding. I know none of you may have known about welding there, but growing some of our other technical programs that give opportunity to our young and some retraining to some of our older individuals that are learning new businesses or expanding their growth to be able to be contributors to our community. Personal objective of mine along with this is to reach out to our longtime technical craft businesses to consider developing apprenticeships that young adults from our area might take an interest in and develop a career that is long lasting. As I talk to some of these crafts people, I look at them and I see they're great years like myself. I talk to them about their kids taking over their businesses, and a lot of them say, well, our kids are in the city now. They're not coming back, but I still like to know that I'm going to have a good electrician, a good plumber to be able to call on. And I'd like to give some hope to our young people in this community that want to stay here and possibly entertain developing a program with these general contractors in our area to allow that opportunity. The need for economic growth is an imperative, and along with the community leaders and the general public taking a true interest, I believe we can stem the negative tide that we've seen in the last few years and grow our community and give hope to our young people that they may be able to be contributors to our society.
You know, Mr. Gentry, I applaud that vision that you have. And in regards to Angelina College, we are in our need, at least from my perspective, of a program, something that can be utilized for our students, because many of them are not college bound, many of them are not college material, and they do well to finish high school.
True.
And for those students who are not bound for college, it would be good if there was some type of technical program or school or something here close to Crockett that they can attend, so they could possibly learn some skills. I don't think we offer much now. Matter of fact, I know we don't. When I was in school, we had building trades, some other things there where you could learn basic skills in different service industries. And so I think that's a good thing, and I think that we would really be doing our younger generation a great service and being involved. And I'd like to be involved in something like that, because I'm a master electrician myself, and I don't have anybody that I can actually take under my wing, so to speak, and to teach them the basics of what I do, as an electrician. So most of our kids now, those who are not bound for college, they very well know, they just wandering places and they may find work and get involved in other things, some of which are not the best for them. And so I think that somebody has to take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and have a vision and see the need of what we need to do for the many children who are graduating here who may not be bound for Texas A&M or Prairie View or some of the other colleges, but they just eke through high school, but they're here and they need to have some type of skills to employ themselves with. And yet we'll always need some plumbers, electricians, carpet layers, framers, whatever they can learn. So in the future, when such time as you engage with them, I'd like to be kept abreast, and I know you will. And I appreciate all that you do over at Economic Development, and keep up the good work.
Along with that, I think attached also there's some community outreach. I know this is a report I usually give to my board once a month, of overview of the contacts and others that I do. Some of it's proprietary, so I'm not going to read through it, but you can see some of the efforts that I'm making in terms of reaching out to people within our community, but also still making that out broadcast outside our community, because that's a very important thing to keep in front of people. And also just meeting and talking to the general public, people as a whole. One of the things that I would share with you right now that is one thing that I hope we all can buy into is accountability and responsibility. We have a need to represent our community, and each one of us has that responsibility. When I'm talking to businesses, one of the first things they want to know is what type of trainable, accountable workforce do you have? And that's a very important thing, I think, for us to take a sense of knowledge of awareness that we need to be talking that way to our young people. We need to be raising our young people to understand that accountability and responsibility. Being at the job when you say you're going to be there. Unfortunately, we've had some issues that I'm made aware of where that hasn't been the case. And that's one of the things that I felt important to say this to you and to the general public. We need to be more aggressive in terms of expressing that to our young people. It's important to be on time, to be at the workplace when you say you're going to be there. You want the overtime, report on time. It's a very important thing when a company's looking at our area and talking to the companies we have here and asking, how's your workforce? Well, I want us to be second to none. So I can tell that enjoying all of you joining me and trying to preach that to the general public as well as anybody that comes through our town. Otherwise, I want to thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, no date on the
Oh, okay. I actually had an email from them this weekend and talked to them yesterday. They have been pre-approved by the Chrysler Capital people. They are approved for 80% of the total value. They are going to be meeting with me and possibly some of the banks in the area to talk about other opportunities in terms of additional financing, as well as looking at some other business interests that they have to bring to Crockett. So I'll be meeting with them on Wednesday and also introducing them to a couple of our banks here in the area. They didn't want to go just carte blanche with everybody, but they wanted to at least get a sense of what type of relationships they can establish with some of our banks here in the area as well. But as far as that major capitalization, Chrysler is already pre-approved for that. As I said, after we have another conversation with them, hopefully we'll have a general plan. I can come back to the city as well.
Thank you again.
Again on the next. Normally doing it again.
Yes,
Oh, okay. I come before you now to present our 2017-18 budget. Our budget this year was drawn up with a level of conservativeness to it, but also with some objectives to be met. With that in mind, we're in the conditions that we're under. We're considering, as I mentioned earlier, our sales tax dollars, projecting them being less than what we've seen in the past. 2 years ago, we had one of our highest levels that we've experienced in the area. But realistically, we lowered our projections on sales tax to $500,000. We have some expenses and commitments that we have along with that include the note on our state draw note that was used for assistance in maintaining the state school before Serenity arrived, and also the note that we have on the property at the Angelina facility. Other than that, the others are pretty much line items that you see here that are involved with legal, postage, general communications, printing and PR work. And one thing that we were looking at some additional expenditures on this year is actually something that I think the city has committed to, beautification overall. We have 90 acres roughly in the industrial park. They go from 5th Street to 4th Street. And as I was riding around and looking around and talking to John a little bit about this, one of the areas that I'd like to see us do some effort in terms of physically improving the area is along 4th Street. We've allowed that area to grow pretty dense in that area. That area has if you know a little beyond that, it's a pretty good piece of property that we could highlight a lot better than we have. I know we have the main communication tower there that we donated for that use to be on there, but there's still a lot of property there that could be developed either into a warehouse distribution or some other, but you can't see it visually. And that's one of the things that I wanted to do with the property, is try and beautify the property in such a way that people can have some vision for improvements there. With the removal of the trees and the light for the two properties on the loop, it put a whole different perspective on the south side of the property there. So that is that's the major impetus right now with our budget, is to put some money into improving the overall aesthetics of our area, and also ensure that we maintain the drainage in the property as well. As we have construction development and concrete going in, we're going to need to ensure that the water is distributed all the location as efficiently as possible. And since there hadn't been any activity in that area in a while, we've got trees in some of our drainages that was designed there. So those are some of my objectives this coming year, to address those. Other than that, we still want to focus on training our individual board members. I get my training, but I want to make sure that my board understands it's a working board. I want them to know what I know. I want them to be able to enunciate that to the community as well. So we've allotted a certain amount of money for training, and the other is basically our PR and the work that we do to try and sell the community, not only to the world, but also associated with the East Texas and small business organizations and the Text 21 organizations. Text 21 for you, some of you may have had, I think actually recently, is one organization that is focused on trying to improve transportation throughout Texas, the impact on economic development. Some of you may have heard recently, within the last few years, the Panama Canal went through a major overhaul and deepening to handle these large shipping vessels that are coming to the East Coast. The Texas State Legislature is also funding some monies for the Houston Ship Channel, the Beaumont Ship Channel, to deepen the handle these large rigs. Well, they come in with a lot of materials. Well, they need roads to get the material out of there. One of the main roads that runs through Crockett is 287. I'm big on pushing that, and I'm participating with Text 21, and I appreciate the cities and the county support with me doing this to encourage the growth and the development improvements and widening of 287, such that we will be a main path for a lot of those goods coming off of those ships in the near future. I'd love to have a vision of even having a distribution center here that would support that. But those are just long-term visions that I want to bring forward y'all as the justification for this budget that we're presenting tonight. Any questions?
That railroad spur, did you ever find out anything from Lincoln?
Okay, working on that still. They've come to me with some other options that they were looking at on that property, but I'm still reaching out. As I said, I've made some established relationships with several legislative entities that are going to help me in terms of talking to UP about working with us to ensure that they have that opportunity to utilize the rail spur that we own. We bought that rail spur some years ago with that very intent. We've leased it out several times over the years, And I saw this as a share with you as being a viable, very good opportunity to utilize that for their purposes, but also develop it for future use by someone or someone that may want to purchase it outright. But yes, that is on my list of things that you see. I think it may be in that list of behind my earlier presentation there.
I make a motion to approve the budget as presented. Second.
Okay, the motion's been made by Councilman Calvert that we accept the budget as it has been presented. It's been seconded by Darrell Jones. Councilman, everyone in favor? Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
On to number 16, consider and approve updated alcohol policies for events at the Civic Center and Ad Arena.
Council Connie Woods Fine Arts presented us with their request for our Civic Center. So we went ahead and met with our attorney. He updated both of our policies as it relates to being able to attain a special 3-day wine and beer permit. So if they're qualified for this permit through TABC, they're still governed by the same rule through TABC, but we will allow them and not require them to have to comply with RM food permits where they have to sell 51% of their sales in food. This allows them to bring in and just
This is only on ticketing.
both.
Now, what is the BYOB deal was on that set, right?
Yes. And that hasn't changed.
That hasn't been changed.
So it's just adding on to our current policy, allowing there's a clause allowing that if they do qualify for a TABC 3-day permit, they can sell beer or wine without having to sell
Beer,
food.
beer and wine, no alcohol.
It's, yes, beer and wine. That's what the permit ruling is for, and that's what I was Fine Art requested. I believe the alcohol is governed by our county. That was voted in on alcohol. We're only allowed to do wine and beer.
Now, you still got bars here too.
As far as TABC,
So, but what I'm saying is if somebody, you still got it in there that either somebody that's licensed have to apply for the,
now, sir, on that last clause, it says if the renter is granted a special 3-day wine and beer permit, that to qualify for the 3-day permit, you have to be a nonprofit, charitable, civic, or religious organization through the TABC. So it still couldn't be done by a private gathering or reunion group or someone that's not a civic or a nonprofit organization. So if they qualify for the TABC 3-day permit, we will allow them to have their event at their place without having to hire a caterer to sell food as well. Up until now, you have only a caterer could apply for and bring in alcohol. Other outside people like
and then they don't have to do the food. So did you check that? But did the attorney say we couldn't, it's just beer and wine, because of alcohol?
Yes,
That's the TABC rules of this.
he's using just the TABC rules for 3-day permit. Unless you're a caterer that
Has a license.
already has a permit, a license.
Right.
full-on license. The only exception would be for a 3-day special permit, and those are the requirements, so he just wrote those requirements in.
The motion has been made by Councilman Calvert that we accept and approve the updated policy for the city center, the ag arena, and has been seconded by Councilman Marsh. Everyone in favor? On to number 17. A public hearing on a request from Ishkar CR for a R2 to C2 zone change for the intended use of a store at 400 West Goliad, Crockett, Texas, 75835. Legal description being 1.584 acres out of and a part of the Frank Johnson Survey A-46, City of Crockett, Houston County, Texas, and being a part of the Miller Heights Edition, recorded in volume 72, page 214 of the Houston County Plat Records, and also being a part of the same land described in a gift deed to William Ed Harkins and wife Janice P. Harkins, recorded in volume 1093, page 814 of the official records of Houston County.
Mr. Sinor,
Yes.
what exactly will you be offering there on that particular property?
I'm trying to open the another location on the seashore.
Council, that's the site plan that was submitted. This has gone through planning and zoning on September the 5th. This was submitted to planning and zoning and approved at their meeting. I also have a printed copy of the site as visible from the road and from the aerial view.
When would you begin construction when approved?
Sorry.
When would you begin construction when approved?
It's within a month.
It's already been through everything to go
It's been, yes, permits and the zoning requests have also been seen by planning and zoning and have been approved by them, but it needs to be, at their hearing, they had one voice approval and one voice disapproval at their hearing.
So
Today is a public hearing for council.
So is it just because it's not planned, it's not zoned for business, or what's the deal?
The request is to, that you will be, the council will be granting is to change the zone from C2, from R2 residential to C2 to commercial, to allow the building to begin and just have, get the permitting, everything as well. This is just a change in the zone for allowing the building.
That property is right on the frontage of Goliad. And I don't foresee any issue from my perspective as far as rezoning that with the council, also got the whole council. Allowing him see it being a major issue as for us, to our, to have it rezoned.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Does it just volunteer?
Is there anyone that would like to speak for or against this? Okay, it's closed. Okay, now then, on to number 18, we're going to consider and approve a request from Ishtar
That's fine.
A. Shihar for a R2 to C2 zone change for the intent to use a store located at 400 West Goliad, Crockett, Texas, 75835. Legal description being 1.584 acres out of and a part of the Frank Johnson Survey A-46, City of Crockett, Houston County, Texas, and being a part of the Miller Heights addition, recorded in volume 72, page 214 of the Houston County Plat Records, and also being a part of the same land described in a gift deed to William Ed Harkins and wife Janice P. Harkins, recorded in volume 1093, page 814 of the official records of Houston County. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we consider and approve the rezoning request.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made by Councilman Jackson and seconded by Councilman Jones to change the zoning from an R2 to a C3 zone, C2 zone. Everyone in favor? This meeting is now adjourned.
This program is brought to you by Young's Welding. For truck accessories, gateways, and all your welding needs, be sure to call Young's Welding at 936-544-7432. And the Moosehead Cafe, open Monday through Saturday for breakfast and lunch, and Friday nights for the fried catfish special dinner. Call 936-544-5278.